Welcome to Tech Talks. Today we have Ali Qureshi, who is the co-founder of SideDrawer, and it's a cybersecurity company. Ali, welcome to Tech Talks. Thank you for being here. Tell us a little bit about yourself and about SideDrawer, the company that you work for.
For sure. Thanks a lot for having me, Chris. My name's Ali. I'm co-founder of SideDrawer. I have a finance background. I've been in capital markets for about 20 years. And the idea of sensitive information being exchanged between professionals, businesses, and end clients, you think about in today's world where you've got tax returns, NOAs, you've got your pay stubs, driver's licenses flying around on email and file sharing links. So we provide a solution where all of that can be taken off of email and used in a platform where your professionals and businesses can exchange that sensitive information with customers and clients.
Okay, and so I guess it's just a more secure way and a more flexible way of sharing information.
Absolutely. Very flexible. It's API based. So we use the latest technology in developing that. So it allows a lot of integrations to take place and connect and produce workflows that simplify the way that you engage with clients. Yeah.
Okay. And so we want to talk about this internet vulnerability that's been exposed, this Log4j. What, like the rhetoric in the media is, it's a design failure of catastrophic proportions, is the CEO of Lunasec, a cybersecurity company.
Right.
And they're talking about like, this is a global problem that's happening right now. And we've already seen, major organizations like Metrolinx, the Newfoundland government, like a number of government agencies that have been shut down because, or had to shut down because of this vulnerability. Tell us, how big is this?
It can be quite significant. You've already seen a lot of different professional consulting firms come out and talk about the scale and scope of the problem. It's used in legacy software traditionally, and there's a lot of companies that have their own servers and they have their own cloud services where they've been managing these software patches that they've been using. So I think there is some exposure there. The challenge is that it will take time to identify how wide it actually is between each company. And I'm sure they're coming out with resolutions to these. We've seen a number of patches already released, but they are working through them. So it's a precautionary measure that they're starting to take these extreme steps, but it is important because the vulnerability is there. Yeah.
And what does it mean for regular users like us, for like myself or small business owners, what does this mean? How much of a threat is it to us? The general population, and what steps should we be taking?
Yeah, I think there's a few things. One is you just have to be diligent and make sure that your information, wherever you have accounts, that you're monitoring the activity on those accounts. So if you see any email accounts for your password being reset or your account being accessed, watch your email, watch your junk mail to see if there was any notifications that were given. If not, then try to see if you could log into some of those sites where you have some of your sensitive information and see if you can change your password or enable two-factor authentication. Those are very important steps to make sure. If a database was breached and your information was accessed, there's probably a notification that will come out. So you just have to be on top of that. If it's happened behind the firewalls and behind the access points, there's very little that you as an individual consumer can really do at this point.
Okay. Yeah. And like I've got a VPN, I've got, the security. Is that protecting me or no?
Well, if it happened at a third-party server, your VPN protects you from your access point to that server, but it happened in that server, then that your VPN won't necessarily protect you in that scenario.
Okay.
It's always good to have that because it does encrypt in some cases, right? And it protects your identity and your privacy and so on. But if something happened at a source site, your VPN and your connection won't necessarily help in that scenario.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look, is there any other recommendations that you would make, for example, to the government? Like, is the government doing what it should be doing at this stage? We've heard from some governments, like the government of Quebec and BC have made statements. We haven't heard anything from the government of Ontario. So should there be some reassurance? Should there be, some statements about what is actually going on in the government services to protect our public data?
Right. Yeah. It's a really interesting point because we're sort of sitting in a world with COVID, and now with Omicron coming out, you've got another type of response. And the way that everyone's stepping back is saying is that we actually have to take aggressive steps earlier on so that we know, can assess the damage, see what it is, and then make a proper plan. I think what Quebec done is interesting because they've just taken this quick approach so that they can resolve it. In Ontario, I'm sure they're assessing what the damage is or what the exposure is. So there's a process that they have to go through. And with unfortunately everyone working from home, or a lot of people working from home, it does make some of the communications difficult and a lot of engagement that has to take place. So I would suspect that they're making the right steps and what they have to approach with it, how to approach it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, thank you. Is there anything else that we should know about this?
I think that if you think about the businesses that you deal with, if they're sort of legacy, if you think that they use legacy software, the exposure is probably on the higher end. So you think about those platforms and those companies that you deal with. If you don't have MFA or two-factor authentication enabled, you should always think about that. And
what is that? What's MFA?
That's, when you multi-factor authentication. So when you log into any particular site and you have to, and they either email you a code or send you a code to your SMS or to your text cell phone, and you have to enter that code in to get access. So it's more than just your email ID and password that's getting you in. There's another form of authenticating who you are as a user to allow you access. So depending on how these servers and the databases were maintained, having MFA or 2FA can protect your information on those sites.
So that's a good tip for us. Thank you so much for being here. And, it's wonderful to have a local business owner on our Tech Talks, and we look forward to, communicating in the future.
For sure. I appreciate the time. Thank you very much, Chris.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to follow me on social media for more Tech Talks.